Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. I've got the Henry Big Boy Steel 327 Federal Magnum out today. Depending on how long you followed the channel, you may or may not know that all my Henry and Marlin lever guns end up getting a Peep sight. You know, it was just a matter of time before I found one for this Henry Big Boy that I liked. Nothing wrong with the buckhorn sights or the semi-buckhorn sights. Very well made sight. A lot of people shoot them really well. I just personally happen to shoot an aperture sight a little bit better, a little bit faster. So that's just me, and that's a thing that I do with every lever action I own. I've put an aperture sight on. So I got to scouring the web, trying to find something maybe a little bit different that I hadn't used on my other lever guns. I found out that Ranger Point Precision now offers aperture sights, receiver mounted aperture sights. I don't know how long they've done that. I didn't know that they did. Now, I'd always heard of Ranger Point Precision. They offer a lot of accessories for the lever gun owner, but I didn't know they offered these sights. So when I saw these, and here it is, I got in contact with them and asked them if they'd be interested in sending one over to the channel for me to use on this Henry Big Boy and to share with you guys. And here it is. It just arrived. So I'm not going to go over a lot about it just yet. I'm anxious to get it mounted onto the receiver. So let's go ahead and do that first before we get into the details. So before we stick the gun in the vise, we want to make sure it's clear. Nothing in the chamber. And we'll go ahead and just remove that magazine tube while we're at it. All right, got the sight mounted on the receiver and that looks good. I know looks are subjective, but to me that looks good. They offer these in stainless, black, and of course the brass that I chose. I chose the brass just because brass seems to go so good on a Henry like this. I know this one doesn't have the brass receiver, but something about brass on a Henry. You can see the brass here on the magazine tube. That just sets it off. Looks are totally subjective. What I think looks good, somebody else might not. But I really like that. And that's something about my lever guns. You know, I've got several Henrys and several Marlins. And if I'm going to put something on those rifles, I want it to look good. I want it to look the part. I've got some rifles that are purely, as long as it's functional, ergonomic, and made to last, you know, I don't really care what it looks like. But on these guns, I want it to look good. I want to have a little bit of pride in them. These are made in the USA. Made down in Texas, I believe. So I'm going to leave a link to their website in the description of this video. Really no reason you shouldn't go check them out and give them a look. They make a bunch of parts for lever guns, sights, triggers, loop levers, just a lot of good stuff on their website. Go check them out. I'm not going to quote prices on this stuff today, because I've gotten in trouble in the past. I'll quote a price and then somebody will watch that video 2 years later and actually get mad at me because that's not the price that's still on the website. Some people, 99% of you guys get it, but there's always that 1% that just don't know how the world works. So that being said, let's hop over here at the table before it starts raining. It's getting ready to rain any minute now, but let's hop over here at the table and take a look. We'll talk about some of the features of this site and get you some close-ups. Okay, so here's a view from above. You can see it's starting to rain out here, but there's your 2 mounting screws, which are provided. The site is winged, which I'll show you that better from a side view. This is your aperture ring. It is removable and interchangeable with different size apertures. This one is a 95 thousandths of an inch aperture, which is a good all-around size. You can get a 60 thousandths of an inch for more precise work, or you can get a 125 thousandths of an inch aperture for fast shooting, like maybe cowboy action or something like that. It lets a lot more light in, faster target acquisition. This is your elevation adjustment right there in the middle. They do provide an Allen key to make those adjustments with. So let's take a look from the side. So here's looking at it from the right-hand side. You can see your windage adjustment screw, which takes the same Allen wrench as the elevation adjustment screw does. And you can see that winged area that I was talking about here that protects the actual aperture. So if you bump your rifle up against something, you don't have to worry about breaking your aperture off. And here's a look at it from the left-hand side of the gun. There's looking down the barrel at the front sight. And there's the aperture. And as you can see, it sits very low to the receiver. So about the only thing we've got left to do is to get this out and get it sighted in and see if it works out with my front sight. So it wouldn't stop raining yesterday. I'm back out here today to do some shooting, get this thing sighted in. I've already shot a couple of groups. I was shooting high and left. And I think I've made my adjustments and inched it in to where I want it. Pretty much bottomed out on the elevation. So I hope this works out. I'm at 50 yards. So let's see if I've got this thing where I want it. Not bothering with the magazine tube. I'm just loading them one at a time. All right, I can't see a thing from here. So let's walk down, take a look, see what I've done. All right, so that group was still about 2 1/4 inches high at the center. I was out of elevation on this site, so I got to looking at it. This is a day or two later, actually. I already posted a preliminary video over on Patreon, so if you guys watched that video, the footage from this point on is new. I got home and got to looking at this site, and the site itself wasn't bottomed out on elevation. It was just bottomed out on this knurled aperture ring. It was sticking out this side. So I took that aperture ring out, flipped it around, put it in the back side, and I was no longer hitting the base, this brass base, and I was able to lower the sight a little more. And I think that's going to take care of us. So we're going to head back down to the range and shoot one more group. Please bear with me. We're going to shoot one more group and see where we're at. It is crazy windy out here today. I'm glad I'm not trying to shoot long range. We're at 50 yards again. Wow. Maybe that wind will help me. Again, I'm not using the magazine tube, just loading them one at a time. My goodness. One more. And I absolutely can't see a thing from here. So I have no idea where I'm hitting. But I feel like that extra drop in sight elevation should get us close to that bullseye. I'm hoping. Well, let's take the walk and have a look. All right, so let's take the walk. Man, this wind is getting crazy. I wanted to show you guys something. Look at this water. Our range is very close to being flooded. By this afternoon, this range will be underwater. It rained torrential rains all day yesterday, and as that water runs down out of the mountains, it accumulates down here in the holler, and we get flooded. So let's get over here to the target and take a look. Got to stop that little camera. I don't know how I haven't shot that thing. Wow, what? Did I miss one? I think that one's, yeah, that's 2 in one hole. Wow. 4 out of 5 in the 1-inch bullseye. I couldn't do that again. Dang. I did have that flyer though. Let's see what that group measures overall. Looks like about 1 5/8 of an inch overall. Man, if it didn't have that big old ugly flyer up there, which I always tend to throw one. I guess we all do that unless we're professional bench rest shooters. Those other 4 were, man, those were tight. But that drop in sight elevation put us down there right where I want to be. I am very, very happy with that. Alright guys, I want to apologize for the wind noise. I know there's going to be a lot of wind noise in this video. I go out of my way to get that stuff out. I use my video editor, my settings in there to minimize that wind noise as much as possible. I try to use good microphones, but on a day like this, it's bound to come through. You can see the flood water starting to overtake my property here. Luckily, it doesn't get up to where my house is. It does flood the range though. But that's all I really got today on this Ranger Point Precision site. I will provide a link to their website in the description of this video. YouTube's got funny rules about providing links anymore, but I don't think that Ranger Point Precision sells anything that's on their naughty list, on YouTube's naughty list. So I'll try to provide that in the description. And they sell a lot more than just sights, guys. They sell a ton of accessories for the lever action owner and for other guns as well. So it seems to be very high quality. I recommend you go give them a look. But that's pretty much all I got today. I want to thank my Patreon members for keeping this channel running. Guys, much appreciated. I'll talk with y'all again soon.